It feels almost surreal to say this, but after more than 2 decades of waiting, the highly expected rom-com, Honeymoon with Harry, was finally happening, and it is bringing together two massive stars we never thought we'd see paired in a romantic dramedy, our beloved Kevin Costner and Jake Gyllenhaal. So, let's talk about it. If you didn't know, this movie had been one of those Hollywood passion projects that simply refused to die. Originally conceived back in 2004, it was based on a then unpublished novel by Bart Baker. The story followed a man, who will be played by Gyllenhaal in the upcoming movie, who decided to go on his honeymoon anyway. But instead of with his bride, who tragically died just 2 days before the wedding, he went with his would-be father-in-law, who will be played by Costner. I know it is a crazy premise, but let's admit it, it is a heartfelt, painful, and funny all-at-once kind of a premise, which is what we absolutely need and unfortunately lack in modern rom-coms. In a world where The Materialists is considered a rom-com, I think we are in an absolute need of a true rom-com that is reminding us of the 2000 epic bangers. So yes, as you can see, I'm extremely excited about this movie. And what makes it even more exciting in my opinion is the team behind the camera, Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, who are the directing duo responsible for the one and only Crazy Stupid Love, are helming the project with a script by Dan Fogelman, who also wrote that film. I mean, Crazy Stupid Love needs no introduction. We all know that it is one of the best modern romantic comedies, blending humor, heartbreak, and sincerity in a way that felt so real to so many of us. And now that same creative team is coming together again, already making Honeymoon with Harry something special. But it is important to realize that the journey to get here had been long. Producer Mike Kars originally developed the movie at New Line Cinema 21 years ago, and over the years it attracted some of Hollywood's biggest names. At one point, Paul Haggis, who is best known for the movie Crash, wrote a draft and nearly directed, with Vince Vaughn and Jack Nicholson circling the lead roles. Later, Jonathan Demme, the legendary director of The Silence of the Lambs, considered taking it on with a script by Jenny Lumet, whom you might remember from the movie Rachel Getting Married. Then, in 2015, Dan Fogelman joined the project with Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro eyed as stars. By 2017, Nick Cassavetes was attached as director. And yet, every time it seemed like the project was close, something shifted. But thankfully, Kars never gave up. And now, thanks to Amazon MGM, it finally has a home. Personally, a part of me is happy that it took this long for the movie to be made. Because, I have to admit, the duo of Kevin and Jake is the best duo that is thought for the movie so far. I mean, we all know Kevin for his serious dramas and rugged roles. Like, he is the Yellowstone for all of us. So, it is kind of difficult to imagine him as a rom-com star. But if we look back at his career, you would realize that he isn't a stranger to romantic stories at all. I mean, think about films like Message in a Bottle, or even Bull Durham, which had that perfect mix of sports and romance. Kevin always knew how to bring quiet vulnerability to tough characters, and that is exactly what Honeymoon with Harry needs for the father-in-law role. At least this is how I feel about it. But let me know what you think of Kevin's involvement in this movie. Jake, on the other hand, had shown a wide range across his career. He was fresh off Amazon's massive success with Roadhouse, which is already getting a sequel, and he also earned an Emmy nomination for Presumed Innocent on Apple TV+. So, admittedly, he is more of a drama actor for most of us. While we often think of him in darker, more intense films like Nightcrawler or Prisoners, though, he actually had his fair share of romantic and comedic work too. Movies like Love and Other Drugs proved he could do heartfelt romance, while Donnie Darko, and even lighter moments in The Day After Tomorrow, showed off his ability to balance humor with sincerity. I know, you don't think of humor when you think of Donnie Darko, but trust me, when you take a second look at it, you will realize that it has a lot of witty things going on, which I love. So, with his natural charm and emotional depth, Jake feels like the perfect fit for a character dealing with grief, but also navigating this bizarre, almost comedic situation of honeymooning with his late fiancé's dad, at least in my eyes. But of course, feel free to disagree with me in the comments. And maybe what made this pairing even more fascinating was how much both actors' real-life love lives had been dissected and talked about in Hollywood. Kevin had long been known for a love life filled with ups and downs. Back in the 90s, he was one of Hollywood's biggest heartthrobs, but his divorce from his first wife, Cindy Silva, became one of the most expensive divorces in Hollywood history at the time. He had flings and rumors that constantly kept him in the tabloids, and even in recent years, his marriage to Christine Baumgartner ended in a messy and very public split that had everyone talking. And I know this is kind of controversial, but I genuinely feel like that kind of real-life heartbreak and family drama brings a certain authenticity to him playing a grieving father-in-law who's suddenly forced to connect with his would-be son-in-law in a deeply emotional way. Jake, meanwhile, had his own share of publicized romances. He dated Kirsten Dunst, Reese Witherspoon, and of course, Taylor Swift, which is a relationship that became the centerpiece of one of the most famous breakup albums of all time. Taylor's Red album, especially the song All Too Well, immortalized their split in pop culture, making Jake one of the most talked about figures in celebrity gossip for years. Like that All Too Well video clip lives rent-free in my head 24/7. And I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling this way. Beyond that, he was often labeled as one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors, but with a track record of high-profile, short-lived relationships that left people speculating about why they never lasted. So, for him, stepping into a story about love, loss, and complicated emotional ties will be something echoing parts of his own life. And as a fan of his, I'm excited to see him in this role. Honeymoon with Harry is officially in production, and it is expected to have an early 2027 release date. For more weekly updates on the upcoming Hollywood movies, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.